Hey, 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 welcome back to another episode of Friday Foods and Facts with your favorite guy, me. So, uh, as promised in the description, I'm going to be going over some information with you regarding the market, some moves that you can make that will help you be successful, and just kind of some things to anticipate here in the near future. So, let's dive right into it. So, as some of you may be aware, or you may not be aware, the Fed decided to raise interest rates on um, Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'm sorry, another 0.75%. So that does mean interest rates have gone up a little bit more, which means, payments are going to be a little bit higher. It's going to change a little bit what people can qualify for. So, it's multifaceted. There's multiple things that are a part of that. But I kind of wanted today just to dive into the numbers a little bit more and show you why buying today still makes a ton of sense compared to renting. Okay. So, with that being said, um, one of the things that one of the driving forces behind what people hear and like what kind of how they make their decisions on what they're going to do with their housing scenario has a lot to do with the media and what the media has to say. Well, since 2015, the media has basically been saying that there's an impending market crash year over year, over year, over year, over year. They're saying that the market is going to crash. The market is going to crash. A housing bubble. We're on a housing bubble. They can't continue this long. Housing is getting worse, and so on and so forth. Maybe you should just continue to rent, right? So they've been saying that since 2015, but contrarily, housing values since 2015 have actually increased over 58% in the past 7 years. So, if you look at it, um, sorry about that. I'm trying to mute this phone here. Over the past 7 years, if you bought a house that was worth $100,000 7 years ago, that house now should be worth roughly $158,000 to $160,000, which means you gained $58,000 to $60,000 in equity, not including what you've been paying down on the loan amount as well. So you've been making equity gains of your own accord with payments, but also you've been making equity gains with the market improving. So that's something where I'm like, can you really afford to miss out on that? Because that's phenomenal gains over the course of 7 years. Like, name a portfolio that that will create a return of investment of 58% over the course of 7 years, and with very little risk. Usually something like that is a high risk, high reward type scenario, whereas this is low risk, high reward right now. So it's definitely something to think about, why you may want to get into the market. And then, even though rates have been raised by the Fed this past week, your average interest rate still 7% or below. The cost of rent increases 8% every single year. So if the cost of rent is going up 8% every single year, and you're getting a interest rate of, let's say, 7% on a scenario, well, the person buying at the 7% is winning, because, and let's say the market never improves. Like, if the market never ever improves at all, and there is never a created opportunity for a refinance to get out of that 7%, you're still the winner as the homeowner. Because if you're paying, let's say, 7% on, and I like to use 100,000 because it's a whole number. So I'm gonna pull up this calculation right now. Okay, $100,000 loan on a 30-year term at 7% interest. Your payment's gonna be $665 a month, roughly, right? That's the principal and interest. That doesn't include the taxes and insurance. But one thing that you can count on is that at that 7%, your 665 is never going to change because it is a fixed rate. Now, if you're paying 665 in rent this year, let's multiply that number times 1.08, right? To say a 8% increase. Next year, then your rent payment will be 718. And then the following year, your rent payment will become 776. So in 2 years' time, your rent payment has increased by $111 a month. So that 111 over the course of a year is $1,300. That's $1,300 that you could have done something else with. If you were in a mortgage of your own, that $1,300 you could reapply towards your principal. And what that will do is that will allow you to pay down your principal quicker, which will help you get out of the loan faster, which will also help you pay less interest over the entire life of the loan. And then moving forward, you're not subject to those increases. Only increase that you would potentially see would be if your taxes change, which typically they do, especially as housing values increase. That a new assessment is done, and that's proportional. That the new assessment is being done. It's going to yield newer taxes, tax numbers, and you may see a slight increase in there, but you're not going to see your payment go up by 8% every single year because your taxes do have a cap on them. Once you obtain the property, there's a cap as to how much they can increase every single year. So that is definitely a benefit that you'll see. And then again, bear in mind, you're creating wealth for yourself because as things continue to increase, the housing values continue to increase, you're going to be reaping the benefit of that equity going back into your pocket without you actually having to make that payment for that equity. And then you're also still going to be making your regular payment, which is going to be building equity in and of itself. So you're winning on both sides of the coin. So why not take advantage of that, right? Like now is a great time to get into the market because it makes a lot of sense. Okay. So don't let the media scare you talking about, it's the housing market is going to crash and all this other stuff. Like there was a lot of different things that came into play prior to, 2012 that doesn't exist anymore. A lot of it is programs, and the housing market in and of itself is a lot more stable as far as products that are offered, affordability, and people's ability to repay. So when you're in the market, be in the market, like give yourself the opportunity because there is success out here every day still. There's still people buying houses right now. And something that I had mentioned before was, it is a seller's market. And when I say before, I don't mean today. I mean, previous sessions. It was a seller's market, but it's a buyer's market now. Houses are sitting a little bit longer, so that's creating more opportunity and leverage as a buyer to be able to get things done. As far as like maybe the seller can pay some of your closing costs, or maybe they come down on the purchase price of the property. But those are things that are available now that weren't available for the past 18 months, where people were making offers $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 above asking price. Well, that's not happening now. So that's giving you more opportunity to get a property at its proper value, and if you come in at full asking price, that makes your offer that much more attractive. But know that you do have the ability to negotiate right now as a buyer, because houses are sitting longer. So, take advantage of that. And then there is something called a 2-1 buy down that you can use to lower your interest rate and your payment. And so if you want to know more about that, because it is a more in-depth conversation, if you want to know more about it, give me a call. We can talk about it. My information is listed above and below. You can see it on the ticker. You can also see it posted above as well. But yeah, be cognizant of the options that are available to you, and there's more options that are steadily coming available on a regular basis, as far as like new down payment assistance programs, just things that can be done with credits. I mean, there's a lot of different things. So I want to talk to you about your specific scenario to figure out what's going to be best for you and what we can do to help you be successful. Okay. So I didn't want to keep you long today. I did just kind of want to give you a market update, kind of talk to you about what you can do to be successful. And again, as I've been reiterating, for the past multiple weeks, I do believe that come April, May of next year, interest rates will be down. And around the low fives, maybe high fours range. So if you capitalize on this market right now and get into it, and let's say you get in at 7%, at 6 to 8 months from now, you refinance and we can take you down 2%, take you from 7 to 5. You're making gains now. And if you stay disciplined and make that same payment that you were making at the 7%, if it's not too tight for you, but if you can continue to make that payment, all that extra money is going to go towards your principal, which is just going to only accelerate what you're paying, and it's going to rapidly get you out of that loan that much faster. So you're going to minimize the amount of interest that you're paying, minimize the amount of time that you're paying, and maximize the amount of principal that's going towards your loan. So let's keep that information in mind. Get with a mortgage expert such as myself. We'll take a look at your scenario and figure out what we can do to help you be successful in today's day and age. And again, don't let the media scare you. They're running off of lagging information. It's kind of like a roller coaster. It's like if you're going up on the roller coaster, right. And let's say this is the market information that I, as a mortgage professional, am getting, right? I'm at the tip of the spear. I'm right here as it's happening. And then we're cresting the hill, right? So now I have information, and we're already acting on that information. Whereas the media, they're at the back end of the roller coaster. So they're still accelerating to get to the top. All that information is lagging. By the time they get here to the top of the roller coaster to deliver the information to you, things have already changed. So the roller coaster has made its maybe its decline or whatever. I'm just using that analogy, but because it's what I'm giving you is not lagging information, it's on the forefront. And when you're dealing with a mortgage professional, we're immersed in this on a daily basis. We're going to be able to give you more insight as far as to things that are changing at the drop of a dime and things that can potentially protect you in the future. So that's why I say don't put a lot of stock into what the media is saying, because they're behind. And you don't want to take old information and try to make decisions based on information that's old and outdated. It's like milk, right? Milk is expired. You don't want to drink it. It's not going to be good for you. Same thing. You want to get that information, that milk, in the time period that's allotted for it, to where it's healthy for you. It's good for you. And that's what we're doing now, is we're talking about what's healthy and good for you from a financial aspect. So let's take care of that information right now. Let's not wait until see what the media says, because what they're going to be giving you is lagging information. It's going to be slow, and it's not going to benefit you as much as talking to someone who's immersed in it constantly every single day. So again, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Friday Foods and Facts. I will be back next week and the following week and the following week, because I'm not going anywhere. So you might as well keep joining me here. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Leave your questions or comments below, and or give me a call, shoot me an email, go to the website, fill out an application. I will get it directly, and I'll be able to help you. I work with wonderful real estate agents. As you've seen over the past month, I've been partnering with someone that I've been working with for years, Tramar Clay. He's an excellent agent. So again, give me a call. I'll get you taken care of. I'll get you in the hands of the right people. Until then, I'll see you next week, and enjoy your weekend and this lovely weather before it gets cold again. All righty. See ya. Thanks again.